to the 2020 Advocate of the Year presentation for the Nursery and Landscape Association. It's great that you're all here. And I think we can be less formal than more formal because of the group that's here today. But we'll proceed out of respect for everyone's time. And of course, as you know, I'm Tim Malooly. I'm a volunteer, just like you, and I serve currently as your president. And as perhaps more importantly for today's conversation, as the chair of the Government Affairs Committee. And I'm proud to do so, and honored to do so. As a matter of fact, we were going to, depending on the size of the group here today, recognize all of you that are on the Government Affairs Committee in front of all of the rest of the members. So please raise your hands in front of all of the rest of the members and be recognized as a member of the Government Affairs Committee. Congratulations and thank you for all of your commitment. Let me welcome Forrest. He'll speak, say a few words to us, and we'll move into our presentation. Come on, Lena.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for being here today. I remember this time last year we were talking about we had our award last year is Representative Peter Fisher and Senator Jason Rarick. We worked with them on some labor issues as well as some environmental issues with salt, and I think that we had previously, at least from my knowledge, we had honored legislators, but I think this year with the unique challenges that we were faced with the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in March, to really fight for the members and work with everyone in state government to make sure that our folks were represented and to make sure that they could work safely and responsibly, follow the government guidelines to go back to work and work with especially with the Department of Agriculture to ensure that that was possible. And I think throughout the COVID-19 pandemic and through the stay-at-home orders that were issued, our team here, Tim Malooly, of course, his dedication, his hard work for what I understand is many years. I think you're in.
Too many.
What's that?
Too many.
Too many. Well, hopefully you have a few more in you. We really were able to come together, and it's from what I understand, there have been a lot of phenomenal, sales, profitability, hiring, and I think the green industry is really leading the way in helping the state in economics and other factors. So. Everyone here has done a phenomenal job in representing the industry. Tim, he testified in front of the Senate back in March over Zoom, did a phenomenal job there, and I think that it really shows that our program, the Government Affairs program here, is doing a phenomenal job. So I'm going to invite Tim back up just to say a little bit of the words about what Commissioner Petersen and the work we did with him throughout this process. He was instrumental in connecting us with the governor's office, in working with us to communicate how our industry was going to move forward throughout the pandemic. So, Tim, if you want to come back up, we can hear a little bit about that.
Thanks, Forrest.
Yeah.
So Luna and I would like to address you in terms of how things went in March. So Commissioner Petersen and our organization had a relationship, you might recall, at Northern Green in January. The commissioner and some of his staff were there, and we had an opportunity to swarm around him and ask questions and further develop a relationship that we have already had with the Department of Agriculture. And thanks for being there. Really great that you came, and we hope that you'll come again in whatever form that Northern Green takes in the future. We're agriculture. We're not always thought of as such, but we are, and that's the right place for our industry in general to be placed. And working well and through the Department of Agriculture, we can be effective in helping the citizens of the state understand the importance of our industry and the importance of what we do on their behalf. That being said, March was an interesting period of time for all of us. The world, just about on the same day, just about at the same time, had similar announcements of the pandemic that we're all experiencing. And we almost instantaneously with the Commissioner's office became even closer friends as we tried to determine how to maneuver through the shutdown and through the executive orders that had been coming down from the governor's office. And I can't say enough of thanks to the Commissioner and his staff for the hard work and the dedication that you've shown on our behalf as an industry probably at a time when you're under tremendous pressure from all kinds of other industries too, all in the same place, wondering what do we do and how do we survive and how do we prosper, what do we do in the face of change and the unknown. And I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done on behalf of the organization. It's just really wonderful. I know that a number of your staff also participated, and we definitely would be more than happy to recognize them in some fashion if you see that, if you see an opportunity to do so. But you are here today, and you're the person that we're recognizing, and we'd love to present you. In fact, with Lena down, present you with this award, the Green Industry Advocate of the Year. Green Industry Advocate of the Year is an award that we offer to recipients who have really shown a dedication to our industry and the importance of what we do. And it's not something that we personally give lightly, but we think you've probably earned 3 of these this year. If we had 2 more to give you, we certainly would. Thank you. So congratulations. And please feel free to say a few words, and I'll take it.
This is really cool. Thank you. It's like, well, thank you so much. You know, and it's really interesting. Do you mind real quick if we just say, like, because I know most of you, but it would be great if we just, I know Tim and Forrest, but just say your name, and it's just great to be here. So,
John Frampton.
Okay.
Rob Neeser.
Okay.
Ryan McEnany from Bailey.
Oh, great.
Gail Nozell.
Yep. And Jim and everybody else. And
John Horseman from MNLA.
Okay, and I know, yep. So thanks, and I think it's just you know, really interesting. And Tim said it well. You know, and thinking back on how this all happened, is you said it well. Like, you know, when this all happened, and remember walking out of the office, I think the last time on like March 18th or whatever day it was, and then how going into the shutdown, and you know, almost immediately, you know, for a couple of weeks trying to figure out like what was going to happen. And you know, we had a lot of problems with the food system right away. We didn't have the problems with the meat packing right away, but we had problems with empty shelves, and so we had those things. But we had these other pieces, like what was closed and what could be open. And I just say, like, I think I worked like, I could have worked 24 hours those days. I mean, I was on the phone from 6 in the morning till 11 at night. And this was one that, to me, it seemed like a no-brainer. You know, I thought that as we started to look at this and we were trying to decide, okay, are we going to be doing this for 2 weeks or 2 years or 2 months, or, you know, but what we started to figure out too was real quick is, you know, we were in March, and your busy time of the season for our garden centers, especially in landscape projects, and thinking about that is that people are going to want to be outside, and we were right about that, you know. And even today, as we look at a lot of different things that we're seeing, that the idea was people were going to want to plant gardens and landscape the heck out of their lawns, and because what else are you going to do, you know? And we were right. I mean, I myself, I had a tremendous garden, and we've done a lot of landscaping on our place. The other thing, you know, that was very difficult in this was, and frustrating for a lot of your members and pieces, where the big box stores were open, you know, right away. We said, because they had groceries, they're open, you know, and a lot of the, you know, your members and people we're working with are very selling a lot of the same products. And so we looked at this idea of, like, we could help spread people out, but also we want to, you know, try to be as fair as possible. And so I really, you know, want to thank your association, because in those situations you're dealing with a lot of frustrated members and people who want to be open, they want to be doing things, but they also, but I can't tell you how respectful the discussions were all the time. Like, you know, we, and again, you're dealing with stores that are out of eggs and different things, and then you're going to different pieces and all the time. But when I would talk to Cassie or Forrest or, you know, we had, you know, really great, you know, and it was hard because sometimes I only had a couple minutes, you know, and I'd call, get your cell phone, I'd say, we got to do this, and here's how we're going to work it. But, you know, the information that I got back from the association, I think that's why you belong to an association. It's like a textbook example. I mean, because that, without that work, we wouldn't have, it would have taken a lot longer for this to happen, you know, and every week that would have gone on is a lot of money and different things. So I just want to really thank you. I want to thank Forrest too, and Tim. Tim sent me some really nice, good emails again that were very thoughtful that I could use, and I could just plug in them when I got a few minutes of the governor's time and said, okay, here's how it's going to work. But I'd also like to thank Forrest, because Forrest, I had a plan as we were looking at trying to get this open that involved the governor, because I knew the governor. If I told the governor, I said, people want to plant gardens. By the way, Dale Bachman kept sending me pictures of this idea of victory gardens, and those type of things really help. When I get messages from our members, that's why I give my phone and my email out. I try to be, because getting that firsthand piece is really important. So we had a call with the governor. I started doing stakeholder calls with all of agriculture. And you're right, you are agriculture and including, and great to have participation. So we do these updates. At first we were doing them 3 times a week to kind of get through COVID and everything. And the one call, this was early in the process, we had the governor as a guest on one of our stakeholder calls. And we had a few issues that we wanted to try to get in front of him that I knew I was going to have a chance to visit with them about. And I asked Forrest, I said, be ready, because you'll get a chance, and so only like 3 people got a chance to ask questions of the governor that day, and Forrest was one, and he did it all in a minute, and so, because these calls, you don't have like a lot of time to and the governor has like 10 minutes total, and Forrest kind of threaded that needle. And then later, when I was able to, we were having this discussion, that's kind of how it all happened. And so I really, appreciate, all the work and everything, but you're talking about a partnership or team effort, it really helped. And so a lot of the background, Cassie wrote all the, and probably with help from Forrest, but wrote all the pieces, and then our staff, working with our communications officer, Larry Schumacher from our department, and Mark Abramson, our division director. Mark, who many of you know, just very helpful in putting this all together and everything. So I just want to thank everybody and appreciate it, and keep the partnership up, and I look forward to, that was great. And you think back to January and visiting the expo and looking at the vastness of it, and people always say, oh, Farm Fest is a big piece, but and it was interesting to me is how many people I knew walking around there that are connected, with other parts of agriculture and different things. And so look forward to that partnership. I'm glad I tried to get out and visited a few garden centers this year, and I'm going to go to Bachman's on Friday and visit their store, and they're out to their growing areas and stuff. And so I think that's just really important. I just want to encourage you to, keep working with us, and feel free to reach out anytime. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And I think one additional thing I want to note is the award that we have here today is from Woodchuck USA, which is a Minnesota-based company that produces these plaques here in Minnesota. They're recently actually moving their plant from Minneapolis to St. Paul to upgrade their capacity there. And one of the cool benefits of buying these plaques is it's a buy one plant one. So for every plaque you buy, they plant a tree somewhere, and I believe there is a tracking code in there, so you know exactly where that tree is. So I know a lot of our efforts are working on emerald ash borer mitigation and reforesting in the city forests and all of that. So I think that's a really fun perk of those of the plaques there. So also anyone on the board, of course, are incredibly instrumental in shaping our public policy and our advocacy efforts. So anyone on the board, thank you for your service as well. And once again, Commissioner, thank you so much. Those weekly stakeholder calls were so fantastic, and just the various people that you heard asking questions and talking on them were quite it was quite remarkable. After the call you mentioned, it was fun to hear people texting me, be like, hey, heard you on the call, like Chair Rick Hansen was on there, he's like, hey, great question. And, so it was great, and I know there was a lot of groups that found value in that, and so I know that was really great, so thank you. And thanks again for attending the event, and stay well, and we'll be in touch soon.